Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I feel very honored to be here with you. Thanks for this great opportunity to present on this topic named cocoa. So, as a group leader, first I would like to introduce my group mates. This is Mohammad Nafiz Hingston, and he's Swad Ahmed Yassin from Bangladesh, and he's Shoaib bin Kamal, also from Bangladesh. Now we can go to the next point. Cocoa, which is also called the cacao bean or cacao, is the dried and fully fermented seed of Thebroma cacao, from which cacao solids a mixture of non-fat substances. And cocoa butter can be extracted. Cocoa beans are the basis of chocolate and American foods including tejit, a pre-Hispanic drink that also includes maize. Cocoa, highly concentrated powder made from chocolate liquor, a paste prepared from cocoa beans, the fruit of the cacao, and used in beverages and as a flavoring ingredient. Cocoa is the key ingredient in chocolate and chocolate confections. The cacao beans is the seed of the cacao tree, Thebroma cacao, a tropical plant indigenous to the equatorial regions of the Americas. From the process of cocoa beans comes the fluid paste or liquor from which cocoa powder and chocolate are made. Chocolate is sold directly to the consumer as solid beans, solid bars of eating chocolate, as packaged cocoa, and as baking chocolate. It is also used by confections as coating for candy bars and boxed or bulk chocolates. By bakery, product manufacturers and bakers as coating for many types of cookies and cakes. And by ice cream companies as coating for frozen novelties. Cocoa powders, chocolate liquor, and blends of the two are used in bulk various food products and to provide the flavors in such chocolate products as syrups, toppings, chocolate milk, prepared cake mix, and pharmaceuticals. Okay. And the cacao tree is native from Mexico. It was domesticated by the Olmecs, Mexico. More than 4,000 years ago, it was conceived by pre-Columbian cultures along the Yucatan, including the Maya, and as far back as Olmeca civilization in spiritual ceremonies. It also grows in the foothills of the Andes in the Amazon and Orinoco basins of South America, in Colombia and Venezuela also. As of November 2018, evidence suggests that cacao was first domesticated in equatorial South America before being domesticated in Central America roughly. Okay? 1,500 years later, chemical analysis of residues extracted from pottery excavated at an archaeological site at Quetro, Isnondio, and Honduras indicates the cocoa products were first consumed there sometime between 1,500, 500 and 4,000 years BC. Okay. So now we can talk about the production and code ivory. So the first we can look around the production. Cocoa was the most important agricultural export crop in Nigeria during the 1950s and 1960s. Production peaked at 4,000 million metric tons in 1970. Ondo State is rated as the largest cocoa producing state in Nigeria based on 2005 reports. Today, the largest cocoa producing state is Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. So now we can talk about the Cote d'Ivoire. So the Ivory Coast supplies 30% of the world's total cocoa, leading the rest of the world by over 500,000 metric tons, with a total crop of 144.8 tons. Companies like Nestle and Cadbury receive most of their cocoa from the Ivory Coast, and cocoa alone is responsible for almost 2/3 of the trade revenue coming into the nation. So here a chart for us, we can understand the production value from here. The world's top cocoa producing countries. First, Cocoa Ivory and Ghana, Indonesia, Nigeria, Cameroon, Brazil, Ecuador, Mexico, and Peru, Dominican Republic. So now we can talk about according to a news report. So demand from Asia's growing legions of cocoa has outpaced the ability of local farmers to supply cocoa beans, prompting a surge shipments into the region from Africa and South America. Indonesia imported about 240,000 metric tons of beans last year. Meanwhile, Malaysia boosted shipments to 345,000 tons last year. Cocoa board data show. By 2020, Asia is expected to be the world's largest market for cocoa powder used in products including cookies, chocolate drinks, and ice cream. Okay, thank you.
Now we move on to the business and profit of cocoa agriculture. In Ghana, cocoa farmers earns a per capita daily income of approximately 40 until 45 cents USD on cocoa. This amounts to an annual net income of USD $983 up till $2,621 and accounts for 2/3 of cocoa farmers' household income. Meanwhile, chocolate making from cocoa is also a business in agriculture. The chocolate market growth is steadily increased because of the high demand of its suppliers. According to the report, global chocolate market was valued at around 103 billion in 2017 and expected to reach approximately 161 billion by 2024. So, move on to the issues and challenges of cocoa plantation. First is because of low productivity, because of the people limited knowledge of modern techniques and farm management skills. Secondly, marketing challenges. This is due to a number of factors, including regulatory environment, access to market information, the use of individual sales versus leveraging the power of group buying, understanding of cocoa quality requirements, and transportation costs. Next is pests and disease crops. Because of the cocoa, an estimated 30 to 40% of the crop is lost to pests and disease. And finally, the environmental concerns because of the soil fertility degrades over time. Next slide is the disease cycle and symptoms. Firstly, it is healthy fruit becomes infected. The brown spots appear and develop 5 days after infected. Brown spots cover the entire pod at 8 days after infection. At 11 days, mycelia cover the entire pod. Water ants and insects disperse the spots. So, next slide is low income and crucial consequences. The consequences of price volatility, together with increasing production costs, are economic insecurity and impoverishment for millions of cocoa farmers, despite forecasts that the demand for cocoa will rise by nearly 20% in the coming years, and the increasing revenues for chocolate companies. Many farmers cannot cover their living costs anymore. With the limited income and lack of information on market developments, the cocoa farmers and their families are the losers in a lucrative cocoa and chocolate industry. Thank you.
Now I'm going to tell about cocoa growers. Now I'm going to tell about cocoa growers and consumers. Cocoa is an important commercial plantation crop of the world. It is cultivated in coconut and coconut plantation large scale of 1970 onwards. Top 5, as we see, top 5 cocoa producing countries: Ivory Coast, Ghana, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Cameroon. After that, climate and soil. The natural habitat of the cocoa tree is in the lower story of the evergreen rainforest. And climate factors, particularly temperature and rainfall, are important in encouraging optimum growth. And after that, cocoa is normally cultivated at altitude up to 1200 meters above MSL with an annual rainfall of 1000 mm to 2000 mm and relative humidity 80% with maximum 35 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 150 degrees Celsius. Cocoa can be grown as intercrop in coconut and aeronut grades. It is predominantly grown on the laterite soils. It thrives well on the wide range of soil type with pH ranging from 4 to 5, 8.0 with optimum being 6.5 to 7.0. And then after that, I'm going to tell about varieties and potting media. There are various types of cocoa, namely Criollo, Forastero, and Quintario. And there are several research about cocoa has been released. Now I'm going to Kerala Agriculture University has released 7 improved clone of Forastero types, namely CCRP1, CCRP2, CCRP3, CCRP4, CCRP5, CCRP6, CCRP7, and 3 hybrids CCRP8, CCRP9, and CCRP10. Central Plantation Crop Research Institute Vital has released 1 clone named as DTLCC1 and 4 hybrids namely DTLCH1, DTLCH2, VTLCH3, and VTLCH4. Red soil plus sand plus FYM at 2:1 plus super phosphate 5 kg per ton was found to be best media for growth and development cocoa seeding. And then propagation. It is very important for cocoa seeds. First type, green immature yellow ripe, having medium to large pod of knot less than 350 gram weight, smooth or shallow, ferrous on the surface without prominent constriction at the neck can be selected. Then husk thickness of pod should be less than 1 centimeter. Then pod value, number of pod to give 1 kg weight beans should be less than 12. Number of beans per pod has to be more than 35. Bean dry weight to be more than 1 gram, and the base seeds for sowing are those from the middle of the pod. Harvested seed pods can be stored in shade up to 1 week. And after that, my teammate going to talk about next slide.
Thank you so much, Shoaib. Assalamualaikum. This is Suad, and this is my part. So, at first, I would like to tell you the time and method of planting cocoa. If we want to plant cocoa in coconut garden, then the coconut garden layout should be correct. The coconut garden's layout should be 2.75 meters. If this layout goes right, then we can plant 500 cocoa plants in coconut garden. After that, areca nuts. If we want to plant cocoa in areca nuts garden, then 2.7 meters should be best in areca nuts garden. If this layout also goes right, then we can plant 686 cocoa plants in areca nuts garden. Oil palm. Oil palm is such really a nice opportunity for cocoa plants, cause in oil palms we can spend 4.5 meters space only, and in a row we can grow 5 cocoa plants between just 4 oil palms. That's why if this goes right, then we can plant 400 cocoa plants. Now we can see harvesting. This process is always done in 8 parts. As in the slides, we can see the first one is obviously harvesting. Then the second one is pod fermentation. After fermenting the pod, we need to break the pod. After breaking the pod, we will get 30 to 35 wet beans. But these beans are really highly moisturized. They contain near about 75% moisturized. So after pod breaking, after getting the wet beans, we need to reduce the moisturization. So that's why we need to dry. After making dry, then we need to grading. The grading should be divided by quality. After grading, the harvesting is almost done. we are ready to store it. Then the bean quality. The quality of cocoa beans, it depends in many factors. Generally, fine flavor cocoa beans come from Creole. As we can see that generally the nice flavored cocoa beans come from Creole. These are Creoles. After that, poor and motley beans should be rejected for two reasons. Obviously, for poor and the bad flavor beans are fully priceless. So the first one is fully priceless for poor beans, and the second one is mycotoxin pollution. Mycotoxin pollution is a bad thing for coca, because mycotoxin damages the slides of coca, and also it damages the beans, and it contains moisturization. That's why it's fully toxic for coca. So we can see the difference by color in this picture. After that, the ways of make cocoa more sustained. So this page is showing how to improve the production of cocoa. At first, we have to build the empowerment with cocoa farmers. The cocoa farmers should be powerful. Then we have to make this frame in common local community. Then the motorized farmers, as we can see, the main issue is that put the stability and support their business. This one is one of the most things, and our main thing is that to tell them the successful story. That's for their own inspiration. Can you please change it, Mukta? After that, this is a cocoa bean. We can see here a cocoa. Some pictures. Can you please change? This is the cocoa. After that, this is also a cocoa. This is cocoa beans after drying, after reducing the moisturizer. After that, this is all a cocoa. And I would like to request to thank you so much everyone, guys. Thank you so much everyone. So this is going to be our first presentation here in Universiti Putra Malaysia. So thank you so much. Give us in your prayers, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Change for my doctor. Now should the projector. That's postpone.